The girl was riding in a carriage to seek refuge with her cousin in the royal palace. On the way, a man with bad intentions pulled something from his pocket to provoke her. To avoid trouble, Abby chose to endure it. When they finally arrived, the man still did not plan to let her go. At that moment, Abby looked completely disheveled. She had thought things would improve once she reached the palace. After all, her cousin Sarah was the queen's deputy. Abby took out her aunt's letter, hoping to get a good position there, but to her surprise, Sarah sent her straight to the laundry room. There, anyone could order her around. Abby always had endless chores. Being picked on happened often. While Abby was wiping the floor with a wet cloth, she suddenly felt a sharp burning pain in her hand. She screamed. Someone then told her she needed to wear gloves to clean the floor. The water contained lye, which was very dangerous. Abby knew this was only the beginning. If things continued like this, she would only be bullied. Just as she wondered how to change her fate, an opportunity came. That night, the queen's gout suddenly flared up. Every remedy had been tried, but none worked. The queen's cries echoed through the entire palace. To calm the queen, Sarah drove everyone out. Only 2 people were left alone in the room. Abby looked at her hand that had been burned by the lye. She remembered a folk remedy. To seize the chance to change her fate, she secretly rode out of the palace in the middle of the night. She went deep into the forest to gather herbs. Abby finally found the herbs. She tested them on her own hand. Only after seeing the effect did she bring the herbs back to the palace. While the queen slept, she applied the crushed herbs to her thigh. Just then, Sarah rushed in. When she saw Abby, Sarah thought she was trying to harm the queen. Ignoring Abby's explanation, she ordered people to take Abby downstairs for punishment. To rise in status, the woman decides to take a shortcut. She lies naked on the queen's bed. The queen happens to walk in and sees everything. Abby puts on an innocent, harmless expression. She apologizes and says she slept in the wrong place by mistake. The queen does not seem to mind.
Well, you may get out now.
Under the queen's gaze, Abby steps off the bed barefoot. She gets dressed and leaves. Abby thinks the effort was wasted. She does not realize that her graceful figure has already been etched into the queen's mind. Late at night, Abby's door is pushed open. The queen summons her to the bedside using gout treatment as an excuse. When Sarah, the longtime favorite, returns from handling state affairs, she finds her position has been taken by her cousin. To assert her dominance, Sarah brings Abby back to the hunting ground. She says she and the queen share more than 10 years of intimacy. She warns Abby not to harbor foolish ambitions. After that, she delivers another show of force. She threatens Abby to return to the laundry room. Otherwise, next time the gun will not be loaded with blanks. Abby agrees on the surface, but secretly forms another plan. When no one is around, Abby goes to the queen's door. She takes a heavy book and strikes her own forehead with it. Only when her nose starts bleeding does Abby feel satisfied. The noise is heard by the queen inside. When the queen opens the door, she sees the new favorite in this state. The queen assumes Sarah is responsible. To protect Abby, the queen promotes her to personal maid. So, when Sarah demands Abby be dismissed, the queen firmly refuses. Her reason is simple.
I like it when she puts her tongue inside me.
Sarah has no choice but to retreat. After succeeding, Abby openly provokes Sarah. She rides in the same carriage as the queen. Unable to endure her husband's constant beatings, the woman decided to make a living by blowing glass. However, her child kept crying, making it impossible for her to focus. She had no choice but to stop her work for a moment. She took out a glass marble to soothe the child. When the child saw the marble, she unexpectedly stopped crying. The woman felt the little object looked too plain, so she painted the glass ball white. Then she smashed discarded glass and ground it into powder. Finally, she sprinkled the powder onto the ball. A delicate, sparkling Christmas ornament was born, and it was this small object that changed her life. Mary was born in a poor and backward mountain village. Here, only men were allowed to make a living by blowing glass, to reduce the family's expenses. Mary often went into the mountains with her sister in the freezing winter to collect firewood. One day, when they reached their doorstep, they noticed their father had not lit the furnace as usual. A sense of dread instantly washed over them. They dropped the firewood and rushed inside. They found their father collapsed at the workbench. Severe tuberculosis had taken him to heaven. He left behind 2 sisters with no means to survive. After the funeral, the sisters had no time to grieve. They had to worry about making a living instead. There was still some glass left at home. Although it would not sell for much, it was their only option for now, with their only source of income gone. The older sister believed she should quickly find someone to marry. Mary thought differently. She had helped her father at the workshop since childhood. She believed she might try blowing glass herself, but the idea was immediately rejected by her sister.
Frauen dürfen nun mal kein Glas blasen.
Early the next morning, the sister carried their glass products to town to sell them to old customers. She struggled under the heavy load until she finally arrived. But the shop owner lowered the price, claiming the bottle opening was off by 1 millimeter. After deducting the cost of gas and raw materials, the money they earned was not even enough for a full meal. The woman was gone for only half an hour. The boss then violently attacked her. He even seriously injured her. Una dragged her battered body toward home, but she collapsed on the ground from exhaustion. Luckily, Peter happened to pass by and rescued her in time. When Mary saw her sister covered in wounds, she blamed herself nonstop. She believed she had brought misfortune upon her sister. But Yuna just sat there with empty eyes. She showed no response to anything Mary said. Only after Peter returned to the shop to retrieve Yuna's belongings and beat the boss severely, did Yuna finally break down and cry. Early the next morning, Mary saw her sister airing out the quilts. She had regained her confidence in life. Mary also received news from the painting master. An American merchant who bought glass bowls was staying at the town's hotel. It was said he was looking for new Christmas products. Mary realized this was an opportunity. She immediately packed the finished glass bowls she left her daughter in her sister's care. Then she went to the hotel to find the American merchant. She found him quickly. Before she could introduce herself, the shop owner stepped between them. He lied and claimed the girl was a fraud. Seeing the glass bowls on the table, Mary stated directly that she had made them.
Sind harte Vorwürfe an die Adresse, Mr.
Ich versichere Ihnen, diese Schale stammt aus meinem Sortiment.
Ja, hat sie vielleicht in Kommission, aber ich habe sie selbst geblasen und bemalt.
Das ist ja absurd. Ich bitte Sie, eine Frau in Glas blasen.
Ja, ich kann es aber beweisen.
When Mary took matching fruit bowls and design sketches from her bag, the shop owner could no longer argue. Mary suggested signing a contract. The merchant was not foolish. He asked to see how the products were made. So he and Mary took a carriage back to the village. Because the fruit bowl process was complex and time-consuming, Mary could only make a simple glass ball. She painted white flowers on its surface. She added silver powder as decoration. A shining Christmas ornament was completed. At first sight of the glass ball, the merchant knew this was exactly the Christmas decoration he wanted. After confirming the budget and delivery time, Mary solemnly signed her name on the contract. The woman pushed open the door. She saw her sister curled up on the floor in pain. A basin of bloody water sat beside her.
Was hast du getan? Ich bin schwanger. Was? Und Thomas. Das will nicht weggehen.
Not long ago, their father had gone to heaven. The sisters lost their only source of income. Hamer, a villager, invited them to work at his glass workshop. Mary was assigned to drawing designs. She actually liked the job. With careful guidance from elders, she quickly learned how to paint patterns. The older sister was assigned to packaging. She had a strong personality. Noticing the table was a mess, she suggested sorting items before boxing them.
Vielleicht sollten wir es erst sortieren und dann einräumen. Gut?
But no one listened to her. One day, a child worker burned his hand on hot glass. Yuna bandaged the boy's wound. She complained that the boss was harsh even to children. Unfortunately, Hamer overheard her words. He immediately began yelling at her.
Deine Weiberwirtschaft kannst du zu Hause führen!
Lieber eine Weiberwirtschaft als ein Sauladen.
Was hast du gesagt?
Yuna had long been tired of this life. She left the workshop and went to town alone to look for work. By chance, one of her father's former clients was hiring an assistant. She walked into the shop. The owner unexpectedly hired her. But Mary, left alone at home, soon caught the attention of Hamer's son, Thomas. That night, Thomas came to Mary's house with a glass bowl. He knew Mary was fascinated by glassware, so he played to her interests. While Mary was thinking about what to paint that night, Thomas pinned her down on the table. When her sister returned home, Mary did not tell her what had happened. Perhaps deep down she still held a trace of fantasy about Thomas. The colored paints her sister brought back helped Mary forget her pain for a while. When the sister presented Mary's glass bowl to others, a merchant immediately took a liking to it. The boss sold it to him for $12 on the spot. Afterward, the boss wanted to order more pieces from Yuna. She had no choice but to go home and talk to Mary. But no matter how much she called, there was no response. The medicine on the table frightened her. She pushed open the door and saw her sister curled up on the floor in agony. After this happened, Yuna went straight to Hamer to demand an explanation. Though Hamer was harsh, he was still reasonable. He said he would make his son take responsibility, and that the two would be married the following week. The wedding was held at the village bar. The bride, the central figure, was forgotten in a corner. There was no wedding dress, no priest to witness the vows. At Hamer's command, the wedding was considered complete.